Hey everybody, welcome back to another RealFlight tutorial. Today we're going to be going over where to get our virtual objects from. This is one process that has been done to get a virtual object from the real world using a drone or something, and it flies over it and gets all these images, and then it uses this software called Pix4d Mapper Pro, and it uses some really cool software that I don't know much about to make this map. So if I get rid of all the cameras, you can see that it makes all these points and everything, and it's pretty cool. So you can get like a whole map of an area. So we're going to get a mesh from this map here, and then we're going to export that as an FBX file, and then we can use the rest of the process to import it into RealFlight. So the one key thing is though that if you do this whole area, right, first of all, it's going to take a really long time or it's going to be a lot bigger. It's going to be a lot of extra stuff that you don't need. Like you don't need this grass over here. Pretty much like we're interested in small objects in here. And I found that when you do it as smaller intervals, smaller chunks, so like if you just do this trailer or this building or just one thing at a time, it's higher resolution meshes and higher resolution textures. So the way to do that is to get something specific that you want is to use a processing area. And that's over here on the left. You're going to click New Processing Area. And it'll come up with this white dot underneath your mouse. I would rotate the environment so that you are on the top view. So there, I've gone all the way to the top view. And if you click and drag, you can still move it around and everything like that. But I'm going to take my mouse with the white dot underneath, and I'm just going to left click once. So I'm going to get this building out that I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on one of the corners and then move my mouse. I'm not dragging the mouse, but I'm just moving it over, and it'll create this line. And then I left click again to make another point. And then I go down here and you can see it made a triangle now, and you can make as many points as you want, as many or as little. And I'll make one more here, so another left click, and then I come over all the way to here, and this will be the end of my building. So I'm going to right click this time to show that, to tell it that I'm done. And then you can see here that it gets rid of the rest of the points here. So this is what we really want and everything like that. So you can go in here and then set the altitude. So the maximum altitude, I think -60 or something like that. And you can change it so that it's what you need and everything like that. So this is a lot better and not totally necessary, but it just maybe gets rid of a few extra points and maybe below or above and can reduce on the processing time. So now what you need to do is reprocess the program and reprocess just these images. So it'll make a mesh of just the area that you selected here. But you do want to change some settings first. So in the processing settings, you're going to go and under number 2, uncheck 1 and 3, but just do number 2 and go to 3D textured mesh on the top tab. You're going to come into the settings here and choose custom. And we choose custom mainly for the texture size and the polygon count. And this is mostly just conducive to RealFlight. So RealFlight tried it and it couldn't be too high on the polygon count. So we found that 2048 by 2048 is still really good resolution and it still works to import into RealFlight. Quantitative RealFlight requires less than 20,000 polygons, and we may put a collision mesh on this building, so we did 19,000, which is still really conservative. You know, you could probably go 19.5 or something like that, but the quality didn't really seem to matter with that. The octree depth, not totally sure what that is, but I think it's some sort of resolution. I think the lower is better. It lowers high resolution, but didn't really notice a difference again. So we leave custom settings like this. We're going to export it as a FBX, but we can change that later if we want to. And then you click OK. And then you process just step 2. So uncheck 1 and 3 and hit start. I'm not going to do that now though because I already did that. So once you click start and reprocess it, then you come back up to triangle meshes. And you click that and it loads just this area as you see here. So I'm going to turn off everything else. So this is what your mesh is going to look like, and it's a pretty good mesh. I mean, it looks really good in here and everything like that. You can see it's got a few bumps and whatnot, but overall, I mean, you know, for the amount of time and effort put into this, this could be time saving for other applications as well. And then to export the mesh, you simply right click on the mesh over here. And you're going to click Export Mesh. Do you want to save your changes? Yes, save them. And then here, it should keep it the same. You can change where FBX. You can rename the texture file that it exports as, but as an FBX, it'll name a texture file automatically for you. Change your destination here where you want to save it, and you just click OK. So then use the FBX in the file location that it just exported as. Go through the rest of the tutorials in this playlist. Use that process to get the KEX file and import it into RealFlight. You import then the object into an airport in RealFlight, and this is the end product. So I'm just gonna fly around it for a little bit for you and everything like that. And yeah, it's not the best building, but you know what? It's pretty good for what we did, and it's a really cool process. And this is just a simple way to get something from the real world into RealFlight. So I hope you had learned a lot from these tutorials, and also, there's lots more to come, and check out the rest of the videos as well if you haven't already. And I'm sure you'll learn lots, but hopefully they help you get on your way for doing some simulators. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.